Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Ryan, Joe, Devin, and I are back for week 2 of Total Drama Action. And yeah, it's been a couple weeks since we recorded the premiere week of the second season, and now we're finally back. And I'm excited to talk through this week. There's some really funny stuff. There is kind of like some more filler stuff, as action is like big on like half the episodes, no one getting eliminated, but there's like I said, there's some fun stuff that makes it, worthwhile. Like some really funny quotes and everything, but I'm sure we'll get into it. What are your thoughts on this week of Total Drama?
There was a lot of bull crap. Izzy comes back only to get eliminated like 3 episodes later.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into it, but the whole Gwen situation was just a huge no-no. I was like, they were just trying to basically get rid of her. That's what it felt like, for reasons. I was like, oh, she was a main character last time. We're going to share the love this time. And yeah, also, like DJ's elimination felt a little like premature. Like I said, I've mentioned it before. I felt like they could have done more with it after or something, but yeah. So I wasn't a fan of these 6 episodes.
I do agree with those points, but like I don't know. There's some positives, but there are plenty of negatives. Don't worry, we'll definitely talk about that.
Yeah, like the core story of Total Drama Action like is booty cheeks, but like there's still like the writers can at least make some funny jokes and funny gags to kind of make us still keep watching. But like there is just so many times they drop the ball in action, especially in this kind of section. So I pretty much agree with Ryan on that.
Yeah, Devin.
I think that I pretty much agree with everything everybody's saying, because we've talked about how action feels like it's full of filler. This section, this 6 episode gap, feels like the biggest, because the first part we're setting up the characters and stuff, so it's not too bad, but then this is a slog in a way, because we kind of are basically being told Gwen's going home, DJ's going home. And then with Izzy's elimination, I think it's a little less, told that it's going to happen. But it's Izzy, so you expect her to just go home at some point randomly. And I think that also the derailment really does start happening with the Trent episode, but it just continues through this section. The derailment and the derailment EJ, the derailment of even Leshawna, I feel like gets out of character for her for some of the stuff that happens in this section. Duncan doesn't get a lot. I think Harold is always on point when he's on point, you know what I mean? But still from a actual story beat standpoint, he really don't get anything either. It really just they were we have to fit these.
Yeah. There's a lot of rough stuff that happens for sure. I mean, I'm sure we'll get to the Leshawna moment of it all, because that's pretty crazy that how they decided to derail her character. With episode 7, the Chef Shank redemption, the prison theme of episode, and this is the derailment of Gwen, as we talked about as well. We have Gwen throwing the challenge to try to stick to her deal with Justin. And then we also have Izzy returning for absolutely no reason.
Just appears at the end and it's just yep, I'm here now. Oh, that was East Coast that got voted out. Here I am.
Yeah. Can I throw something at you guys? Do you feel like this would have been more appropriate if we know that we're getting a returning player in the 13th episode? Do you not think if they flipped the 2 returning players and had Courtney return first and Izzy return second, that it would have felt a little more less disjointed? Because I feel like with Izzy returning immediate elimination, so close, and then getting eliminated again, it kind of feels like a waste. But if she would have came back 13 and got eliminated in 18, it felt like a second end of
The only reason I would say no, and I know you love her, Devin, but I do not like Courtney in this season. So for me, I want less Courtney.
I feel they shouldn't have brought her back at all, or at the very least, because they had a couple of like eliminations very early on in the season. They could have just as easily made that challenge a reward one, and they just lose. Like, I think that's the thing. They brought her back to not really serve a purpose except to make out with Owen in the next one. And then kind of like we get Explosivo, but like I don't know. It's like I like Izzy, but I was like, it feels a little weird just bringing her back only to boot her. Almost not as bad as like Eva, because Eva was like basically just there for that episode to get booted. But that was that was my kind of like thought process. It was like, but like why though?
I think it was just the callback. I think they wanted to do a callback to season 1 where she comes back, and they wanted to kind of like, and that's why I think they needed her to come back in World Tour. Like they should have kept with it. Because, like
that he's getting eliminated twice throughout the season. Like like
she is the most eliminated contestant of all time
5
in
times,
Total
right?
Drama.
Yeah.
I feel like the big thing about this episode is like I want to switch to a positive, like some less us talking about how terrible and derailment they are with their characters. The idea for this challenge, like a prison break challenge based off the Shank Redemption, I think this is a very good, like there's goodness in these challenges, and this is one of the ones that really out as like a really good like pop culture reference. Like I like this challenge. I just, like I said, I just wish that they didn't derail the characters. Like they literally are like putting them on trains, and the tracks literally you can see them flying off the cliff. Like,
I really agree. Like I would have rather just had Izzy not come back in again at all this season. Like I just don't know what the purpose was. I feel like I was fine with her being like the second voted off because Jeff and Bridget, but like I would have been fine with her just going there. And because Explosivo, she has like the one funny gag in the medical episode where she has the crazy it's like the only purpose she serves in this season or when she comes back. And so like I don't know, it's tough for me, and especially because Action is literally going to do this with Courtney and then with Owen, so they're literally doing it a couple times.
We could have, like, and the plot point was there. They could have brought her back in this spot and made her main purpose be to out DJ the chef thing, because she knows about it. Like, like she could have been a part of a plot point, and at least like maybe it's like the weird DJ plot point that's kind of off to itself, but at least like it ties her into the story again, opposed to her just being like
I agree. There's also some disgusting stuff with like the prison food part of it, and Beth's retainer dropping in is what causes Lindsay to puke.
Remember, Beth is the winner of this fucking season.
That is very true.
I mean, this shouldn't be shocking though. I mean, the gross out humor won in the first season too, so like it should have just been a telltale that Beth was going to win, because Owen kind of didn't have very many like actual plot points. He was kind of just a comedic relief, and Beth is just a lesser version of that. Like throughout most of this season, she doesn't like. We'll get to her terrible plot point here in a little bit because it's coming soon. But the prison break episode, like I said, there were just things about it that it's like if you could have done these things, but you could have done them even just a little fine tuning would have made it actually like good.
Yeah, and poor Harold gets smacked in the head by a shovel.
And that's what makes it kind of get off for some reason.
It's really that's just weird because like Leshawna and Gwen are supposed to be friends, and that sets Leshawna off against her friend from the first season.
I think it's because she was acting weird, and then it was like, all right, she's a little bit too much of a liability. Because like throughout this episode, Gwen does not hide the fact that something is up. I mean, Heather clocks it, but then again, like Gwen is like, no one's gonna believe Heather because Heather is, Heather. But you know, it's with how the killer grips were like talking the hour time, it was like, you owe us, Gwen. And it was like, oh, look how Gwen is like being very, very, conspicuous with everything. Partially because cartoon.
Mhm.
But yeah, like a lot of things were just up with her that episode. So it just made sense that with Harold getting knocked in the head, Heather not being great. And then I feel like Gwen just kind of like threw her vote away where it's like, all right, yeah, I'm not going to vote for it said in the confessional that she voted herself out when she didn't. She just kind of just fell on the sword.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, Leshawna though even said like I'm voting her, but I don't really know if she actually was. But so even she kind of was like, I like to me, I still feel like if they were actually playing, they would vote Heather here still. Like I think because Leshawna is very close to Gwen, I feel like she gets Harold in on it as well, DJ in on it as well. Like Heather should be the one going, but Heather just always has plot armor to save her from like logic.
She really does. I mean, I'm surprised the plot armor didn't actually get her close to the end of this season again, to be honest.
And like it would have been a very Total Drama thing to do to have the person calling out the correct thing here. Like we need to get rid of Gwen because she's throwing the challenges. That person to go and keep the person who was throwing the challenges. Like that just feels like a Total Drama like storyline that could have also been continuing. But no, just gotta get rid of Gwen because she won last time.
Yep. All right, well, let's hit the 8th episode. The one flew over the cuckoos. And so it's the medical theme, medical drama. And this is the weird part about this episode is like the whole fake disease thing. And then everybody starts to believe it. And you get that Izzy moment. You get like everybody thinks pepperoni is somehow like part of the disease. And it's just so weird.
Yeah, that part I was like, I understand being like hypochondriac or like, like you Google your symptoms and then it's going to tell you you have something very, very bad. It'd be like, oh, I've been lightheaded. Oh, you probably got, something terminal. Sorry, not, like we've all had that. And then this one, I'm surprised it didn't play out because I kind of wanted to see when I was younger, the Frank and Chris's kind of like come to life. I know that was all just a joke. But I feel this episode, while filler-esque, it has its ripple effects because this is where we get to see Leshawna's like character kind of go into question a lot.
Yeah.
Because she fake cries at the end to hang out with her friend and have a night away.
Yeah, she was always a very likable character, and then they just decided, what if she wasn't now?
Yeah.
Like what if she just has a fucking heel turn and just goes crazy and totally throws, like she had never done something like this, like a villainous. Like this is Johnny Fairplay, almost levels of villainy. Like it's crazy.
I think that's where they got it from. They're like, let's have a character pull a fair play right here.
I would have rather a Harold honestly pulled something like this than Leshawna. Like it just doesn't fit Leshawna at all. They just needed something for a storyline for her to eventually get to her elimination later.
Agreed. Devin, your thoughts?
This episode I think was my favorite of this group. Just because the challenge was more fun. I thought that the comedy was more on point. I wish there would have been an elimination. I wish that they would have flipped this and made this one of the elimination episodes because it would have been, to me, probably more important to the story. Obviously, the derailment of Leshawna is always going to be like the poop on the pie. You know what I mean? Like it was a decent pie on it at the end. I think like they could have made the Leshawna thing work, but I feel like they should have just been building it up. Like give professional like every couple episodes leading up to this where she's like, well, I really like Gwen or I really like Harold or I really like Duncan or whoever it is, and then be like, but this annoys me. And then like just come into a bull point where she's just like, oh my gosh, I need to get away from these people because they're crazy. Like, but they're nuts. Like,
or like a selfish, like she's like, I'm playing for me, I'm doing this all for me, like
Yes.
something like that needed to be like almost like her storyline for the last like few episodes.
Yes, like it needed some sort of like payoff, like opposed to just random, like thrown in last minute thing.
Yeah. It's weird because Leshawna in TDI was like the super caring character. Like her people, she fought for them. She fought for Gwen, as we saw in the first season when Heather did the thing with Trent, or made out with Trent. And so like for her to go from that to this and just be like super selfish all of a sudden is just wild. I think my favorite part of the episode is that Leshawna is trying to get Duncan and Harold to form an alliance, and then they both refuse. And then you get my favorite part is, of course, my tagline with Harold Doris, and Duncan finds out Harold's middle name is Doris, and Harold like blames production for telling Duncan. Like it's really funny.
Not gonna lie. Oh, I love every time I see that episode, I really want to have pizza afterwards. Yes, I know it's the pizza that makes them sick and everything, but I was like, I really, like the next two episodes, the food, but like obviously DJ, also to piggyback to the last episode, the fact that DJ is like, I'm a chef, I can't make anything back, I'm gonna put Mama Spice in there. But yeah, the pizza moment, I'm like, every time I see that, I'm like, I could go for a slice right now.
I thought the exact same thing once they just rolled it in. I was just like, man, I wish I had some za right now.
Some za.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, there's some good parts in this episode, but yeah, then we get Leshawna's derailment, and then we go into episode 9, and we're gonna see DJ get completely derailed here. As he quits the game due to Chef's cheating, which I understand what they're going for in this episode, that DJ would have like the morals to probably stand up to Chef, but like I don't know. I feel like they probably shouldn't have DJ quit the game over it. I don't know. Like I think they could have kept the conflict also going a little while longer. So
yeah, I almost think that we also want to see like DJ in the game a little bit after like kind of going away from Chef and like having some conflict there. Like it's so abrupt. It's just clearly like they had a story, but they knew that they got to get rid of characters and wanted to keep other characters later. So I guess let's just end this storyline and hope that no one really talks about it that much later.
Yeah. They could have just removed DJ from the game for cheating.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still one of those things where it was like they could have handled it a little better. I do think it is in DJ's character to have that honor and be like, yeah, I cheated. I'm going to do the right thing and go. I feel it's in character, at least. It's still very abrupt and early, but I at least am like DJ, like feeling guilty about his mom and everything and letting her down. Sounds like something he would do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the derailment from me doesn't really come from the fact that I don't think it's something DJ would, like it's not out of character for him to, basically quit the game because he's a cheater or whatever. I think my derailment from DJ comes from the fact that, like, unfortunately, because of like a lack of interest, I don't know what they obviously have interest in DJ to a degree because they always give him at least one major storyline every time he appears. But it's almost like as soon as they start having to cut out storylines, his is always one of the first that they're like, yeah, we're just going to nix that.
Yeah.
The derailment for me comes from the fact that there was a really good opportunity to develop DJ's character, probably better than most of the other characters left on this cast, and then they cut it off at the knees in this way where it's just like, okay, well, DJ's done.
Yeah. It's I also find it weird. Like, I know Total Drama always does these dream sequences, and this is important for DJ's decision, obviously, but it's just weird. It's a reality show, and we're seeing inside DJ's mind of him talking to his mom. Like, also, it's funny that the voice actor for DJ, Chef, and his mom, and also later on Leonard. Like that actor voices so many characters in this show. I believe it's also the same actor who is Battlestar and Falcon and Winter Soldier. So for Marvel, so it's actually really funny.
I think it's going from like some big hulking guy to like one of the worst contestants in the history of the total drama sphere is kind of funny, especially with how much of a dweeb Leonard is.
I can't wait to make fun of Leonard for 2 seasons, for like 3 episodes in total. But
oh my gosh,
I don't know. I feel like overall, like I like the idea like of a horror theme movie challenge. Obviously, that makes sense. I like the fact that it referenced to the Blair Witch Project and made it the Sandwich Project. That's so funny. Like, there's things that are, like I said, it's almost like there's things that are corrected every episode, but then like when you get to the end of the episode, like they spend time, rolling out the dough, putting in the filling, they got the pie ready, and as they're walking it to the table, they're like, you know what, this apple pie needs just like a whole bunch of red pepper flakes, like just an ungodly amount on top so that we can have a nice...
That actually sounds good. You may need a different analogy.
Yeah.
Like, I love red pepper flakes, but I don't want it on my apple pie. Like,
yeah. Also, this is a DJ going out yet again in the horror movie themed episode. Like, it's literally the exact like kind of thing. So like, there's like they could have also played with that a little bit, but I don't know. I just feel like that like the writers are still like kind of in a groove, but they just don't have the right. They're just not with the right storylines and choosing the right like horror things. But like, it can still like again. There's some funny little one-off jokes and gags in these episodes. It's just kind of
big elephant in the room where they messed up, because there is a big elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is this: they have a plan for Duncan, right? Like they have an arc chosen out for him, and his arc does not start till the halfway point. So for the first half of the season, one of the like potential canonical winners has basically nothing to do or very little to do. Then already pre-decided that Beth is going to sit next to him, and I think it probably was supposed to be Lindsay, and something's happened early in production. But that's a whole nother story. But they have Beth set as going to be the canonical female winner for this season, and they get into the story room and they come up with decent ideas for some of these other characters, and then like because they don't want to drop the idea, they have to derail the character in order to eliminate them so they can keep this like destined final 2 that they want to keep. Like I think that like Beth's just not a strong enough character to carry that far, and that harms them. And then if you have Duncan's arc be what it is, I know that you don't like Courtney this season, but you have to have her come in earlier so that their arc's there. Like you like rough, you can do stuff with them.
I mean, I think this season absolutely should have been Duncan and Harold as the final 2. Like, I understand having a male female, but like Harold is just like such a better foil to Duncan. Like, just storyline wise, it would make a lot of sense if those were the final 2. And Harold does get stuff, in this early, like he can at least kind of, be present. Or that's
I know a lot of people throw that out there that it should be Duncan and Harold. I do think the male-female thing makes more sense. I think that it's more palatable to the audience to have one of each. Why not choose Harold's, like, quote-unquote, like, on and off showmance partner in Leshawna to go up against Duncan, and have a Duncan Leshawna too, where Leshawna is, like, there to get on Duncan for doing something to Harold. Previous season. Like, there are opportunities to do things with the correct characters, but like and that actually would have been really good if the final 4 instead of it being having Owen in there, Harold is in there as well, and we get Harold and Courtney getting cut right before the finale, so it's kind of like the 2.
I do genuinely wonder how they choose their finalists and stuff when it comes to this, or like, because for a lot of seasons, it makes sense. This was not. This is the one where it was just like a little like Duncan. I understand because he had main character energy.
Mhm.
Beth, like I know Lindsay was the original one, and then they switched it. But it's like,
Yeah.
how do they choose who out of all of these to do it? Yeah.
Theory on Beth. I think they landed on Beth because, like I said, I think it was originally going to be Lindsay, and something's happened. The voice actor said, "Oh, I can only do so much of this time, or whatever. Like, I can't get in for like longer than this." And that, obviously something's thrown off. I don't know, but I think that their thought was the characters who were really popular in Island that got like a lot of fan service from the actual fans were like the Codys, the Noahs, these nerdier characters. And they were like, what if we try to make them like this nerdy female character? Because these two were popular, but it didn't translate because they didn't have enough ideas to keep Beth interesting without completely going like retconning things halfway through the season and stuff.
Well, there was an opportunity, like I did say at the beginning, when we were talking about Beth's inclusion, it was like there was potential there.
Yes.
And like even earlier this season, but we haven't gotten to that technically next episode, the disaster movie one, where we're introduced to Brady, her potential maybe boyfriend that she saw within 2 days, even though she's still like, very much into Justin at this point.
Yeah, I did want to touch on a couple more things in this episode, then we can move right into that. But I actually like them trying to set Lindsay up, like their intention to set her up to go to the final two, because like her testing out like she wants to be the leader of her team. I thought that was like a pretty good storyline and a good way to take Lindsay's character. Also, again, also part of my tagline, Harold Houdini, because Duncan calls Harold that because Harold's magic tricks fail.
And he ruined his soccer ball.
Yes, he ruined his soccer ball. So,
I will
really,
say, I love how he just walks up to him, just very straight face, and then just gets him in the no. Yeah, it was just like, it's just simple, like, what the hell were you thinking?
Yeah. All right, well, let's hit the disaster movie episode, titled Masters of Disasters. And this one, there's two major things that happen. One, Owen gets seriously injured because he gets a book to the mouth. So poor Owen. I feel like for all the injuries that we've seen these characters take, like this is the one that like it is a weird storyline to just like injure Owen for a couple episodes. But I understand, I guess, what they were trying to go for. Like the guy who loves to eat can't eat because they injured him. And then Leshawna gets exposed for lying is obviously the other big thing, which is this makes it interesting because now like everybody is against Leshawna. Like Harold is trying to like defend her, but like he's having trouble defending her against like Duncan and Heather, right?
Yeah.
This one, I will say, I like the obstacle course like challenge they came up with for this. I did like that part, and then I don't know, like the submarine sinking one did seem a little bit like I don't know, maybe because it was like cracking a safe to get out. It felt more like a spy challenge, which is a little out of place, but it did give Harold the time to shine, where it's like, all right, I'm going to lock in. Guys, just give me the bendy straws and I'm going to solve this thing and save us all.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Devin, you look like you didn't like this.
My least favorite episode of the chunk. This one just felt like a big, like a nothing burger, but like this nothing burger that's like got like two really salty patties in it, because we get like the continuation of the ruining of Leshawna, and then we get Harold finally shining, but like it's like a 2-minute segment max. Like, it's not like he shines the whole episode. He gets like this little bit, and I'm just like, the whole like storyline with Owen, and the only thing funny to me about that whole storyline is the fact that it's Chef's manifesto. Which I just find it like, I got hit in the jaw with a manifesto.
Yeah.
But like, that's the, it's like one of those one-off jokes where they could have just had him get hit by the manifesto and then left it. They didn't have to like continue this, like he's got to drink through a straw.
Yeah.
I love seeing him high, like off of pain meds, and just being like, you put your chips in my soda, you put my soda in your chips. And then Jeff
interrupting Chris.
Not Jeff. Chris comes in, he's like, hey, we'll let you have some chips and soda if you agree not to sue.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, free food, heck yeah.
If it was Courtney, a different story.
Should have been, as long as you don't agree to sue, and then after he agrees, it should have been like an offhanded comment by Chris, because we can't afford another lawsuit to set up what was going to happen. Like, like one offhanded comment foreshadowing that like they are currently getting sued.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and it's going to be funny because technically, Owen is technically going to get like rigged out of the show as well at first, because like Courtney's going to come in and literally cast the deciding vote to send him out. And
he was rigged out. They were told they couldn't vote Courtney, and
that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
It's just that she wasn't planned to be in the season. So but yeah, so that another non-elimination there, and then we get to Full Metal Drama, which is the war movie theme. Something interesting that does happen in this episode is Justin starts to lose control. Like, we see him finally, his looks are no longer working on Lindsay and Beth, which I do find interesting. And obviously we've also gotten, part of that is now all of a sudden Beth has this mystery boyfriend named Brady that is now a part of the storyline as of last episode. And so she's no longer interested in Justin, even though she has been for the first 9 episodes. So it just doesn't make sense. I hate this storyline for Beth. I feel like they didn't know what else to give her, so they just gave her this shocking surprise boyfriend out of nowhere. So Yeah.
If Justin was as good as Alejandro, he could have kept it up, and I think that's the whole thing. Is he just had looks, but he was not as savvy as a game player to keep Lindsay and Beth on the hook. So I think there's at least a little bit of that. Yeah. They're still like with him. Like to be fair, in the last episode, had it still been just without Courtney, it was those 4. Owen goes home. Like Justin, Lindsay, and Beth would have still voted together to vote Owen. So he has that control, but it's slipping, and he doesn't know how to handle it and know what to do with losing it.
And then Izzy, or Explosivo, which might be my favorite nickname for her, where she's just like boom the whole time.
Oh my god. You also have Leshawna farting the entire time, which is like, why do we need to give more farting to another character? And this is the start of Total Drama really thinks farting is funny even when other characters do it. So
I'm like, farting is hilarious. It's an S tier joke every time.
No, it's cheap. It has to be well placed. This one was, come on.
If I could fart on command right now, I would. I wish I could. I wish I could fart on command.
The thing about that whole segment is Heather, actually. Heather with the hush little baby, like, moment. It's Heather, right?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, Heather has that, yes.
That's funny. But, like, yet again, like, this episode is like trying to set up that Lindsay's gonna go home. Obviously, Lindsay's not gonna go home. Like, it's awesome. This one is very much their version of the season's like episode that's like the what do you call it? Up the Creek, where Izzy went home in Up the Creek. Like, this kind of parallels it to me. Like, it's kind of hinted throughout the episode that Izzy's probably gonna go because she's crazy, but like set up for potential other people to go home, even though it's kind of Izzy. I don't know, like, this episode, was another rough one where, like I said, the fart jokes from Leshawna, they're not that funny most of the time. I think that, like, the Lindsay, and okay, I want to say something about the Beth thing, actually. Yet again, like, a moment where, like, stepping back and you can just say, how can we make Beth interesting? If you're even in mid-production, let's just add a little intern who's like, I mean, we're parodying reality shows. I don't know. None of you all probably watch Drag Race, but like they have like their pit crew, which is like hot guys. So they could have just had like this hot guy intern who's like a no-line person that then Beth did like eventually falls in love with, and this is Brady, and he's like a model who's been like interning here for some reason. Like you could have been, could have been fixed to some degree. I mean, would I have liked it? Probably not, because it would have been weird having this other extra character. But at least then, like, it would make sense, or like into Justin, and then switches to somebody else.
Right. I agree with that. I think that would have been a better way to solve it, because then at least it's a character that's like there.
Yeah, it's not just Beth being like, remember this is a thing that exists now. and now is a thing for you to know about, and I'll bring it up every now and then so you remember it.
Yep. Yeah. And then everybody thinks I'm lying, and then he's surprisingly shows up at the reunion.
Yeah.
Spoiler, but yeah.
I mean, Beth is the worst winner in Total Drama, in my opinion. I just don't really care for her.
I'd have to agree. I mean, we'll see as we go through, and we kind of like we can sit and continue ranking the winners as we get to the end of each season. But I'd probably agree.
Like there's one that's bad that I can maybe argue, which is Mal, but like at least Mal was doing shit.
No, Mal didn't win because he got blipped or whatever.
Blipped.
It was Mike, or it was Mike at the end. That's not who I would choose. So I would say like maybe Sky.
I was going to say
or
Sky.
But at least they were like they were doing stuff like they weren't great, but like Beth just didn't. She just wasn't good for me.
No, I get that. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, so Explosivo goes. So yeah, we got that. Let's head to the aftermath, the second aftermath show, and here we get Bridget and Jeff fighting. So because Jeff is like blinded by like television, and being like a producer. And I think that's an interesting storyline, because at least we're giving Bridget and Jeff something instead of just making out. So, and then we see Gwen has lost friends and fans because of what happened. And I'm sure that because of how this leads into World Tour, what's going to happen in World Tour, I'm sure that it continues.
Gwen did nothing wrong. She just didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, she was throwing a challenge for her for the other team because, like, out of fairness, she had no real obligation to do that. It was like, this was Trent's decision to do. I'm sorry, maybe I'll help you out in the merge, but
wait.
Yeah.
Talk about how like the show acts as if the audience base is going to be like pro Trent and anti Gwen, when Trent gets so far derailed that he becomes one of the least popular characters on the original cast for sure, and maybe even in the whole grand scheme, he's probably still in the bottom 15 or so for most people, because they basically turn him into either the most boring person in the world or the crazy. And we know that the audience does not enjoy this. So I think it's just like really funny that like they took it the opposite direction, where like this in-universe fan base is like pro Trent and like anti Gwen for some reason, whenever it's always like, you know what I mean? It should be the other way around.
Because Trent's a good-looking dude. You know, that's why. It was like, how dare you do this to him?
Yeah, because Trent looks like the good-looking, handsome, normal-looking dude, and Gwen is like, I guess, the unconventional. Unfortunately, like that's how the audience might view her from that standpoint. I do agree with you guys. I think Gwen didn't really do anything wrong here, and like I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about that in World Tour. So
We'll talk about wrongdoings when we get to World Tour.
yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Like I do think there is some blame there, but you know, I do think at least here it's definitely not really her fault. But
Yeah, they just needed to do something to get her off screen, and then and then they just had to like kind of silence her.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then as Devin's tagline, Courtney's gonna sue the pants off the show.
I love that one. I know that people get annoyed with Courtney in this season because she's at like the all-time brattiness. The brattiness is the comedy for me. Like when Courtney goes over the edge into those areas that I've been in my real life, that's when I relate to her the most. I mean, some of us sometimes scream and cuss people. I mean, it happens sometimes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I may have done it once or twice.
like I love a good brat, and I find her to be the most compelling character with Heather. I think Heather's the other one that really rivals her, in my opinion. But other than that, she doesn't really get anything. There's no sense. But it is like to me the funniest line of the episode. It's like we just randomly get this tidbit, and they're like cutting away from it.
Yeah, I think my issue with Courtney is that she just relies so much on the contract. Like everything she has, like kind of out in her contract, and it just to the point where it is rigging the show. And you know, she already comes in, you know, later, and there's like that to me. That's always the stuff that annoyed me with Courtney. I think the most. Obviously, we'll get to that more in the next batch of episodes, but yeah, like I actually like I like Courtney in Island and World Tour. It really is just like I'm not vibing with her in this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we'll get to the specific moment where I'm like, I think sums it up very, very nicely, but all in due time.
Yeah.
Also, this one we get to see Jeff drop an anvil or wanting to drop an anvil on DJ because he wants to know the secret to his yummy sandwiches.
Yep.
Which I'll be real, I've had some sandwiches that were super like my roommate John, great cook, and he made some like sandwiches for this one party, and I'm like, you need to make these again. This is like the best. So I get that. It's like, how do I get this stuff at home? Come on now.
Yeah. I see that. Devin, what were you gonna say?
The sad part is I feel like Jeff and Bridget actually end up getting like decent storylines for the minimal episodes that they're in after their elimination. Like their storylines throughout this aftermath are, in my opinion, more interesting than most of the storylines with the active contestants, and that's a problem.
I agree. It's unfortunate that they wrote the aftermath episodes better than the actual season. but yeah, that is the second batch of episodes. So let's go favorites and least favorites. So favorite, I am gonna go Harold, Doris, and so Harold just has so many funny moments. Him fighting with Duncan. And just like it's really fun. You know, there are flaws as with every character, but I enjoy Harold. And then least favorite, just because I don't understand why she needed to be back again, is Izzy. So she just didn't do much for me despite like returning again. So they just didn't do anything with her. Ryan.
Favorite, I'm actually gonna go Duncan. He got we didn't talk about him that much this time because he wasn't like the main focal point for a lot of things, except for like starting to work with like Harold near the end, and then kind of like, but like he held his weight in a lot of the challenges. He had a few good one-liners there. Sure, so I'll give him some love. And then I can't really give it to too many people other than Izzy. I mean, like I know. We've mentioned like Beth's character just kind of went out of nowhere. It just has a boyfriend, and that's something that weird just happened. But it's like, Izzy just doesn't serve purpose except for making out with Owen in the horror challenge and the Explosivo thing. It just,
Boom, boom.
it just felt, why'd they even do it?
Right, exactly. Joe?
I'm gonna give favorite to Heather in this batch. I feel like she gets to kind of be. She's almost kind of a hero in a way where she's calling out Gwen, but she's still just a character that most people don't like, so they don't believe. I think that's kind of an interesting kind of dynamic where she is like there to play the game, and she's like usually right and not like fully deceiving, but like people just kind of don't believe her. And then I want to give least favorite. I know you guys are saying Izzy, but like I just think Leshawna's like derailment to me. Like that's a negative. I think Izzy being there is just kind of a meh. I feel like Leshawna's thing just really upset me.
Yeah, that's very fair. I think I think it's crazy that they derailed her character in the direction they did. Devin.
Okay, so favorite. Like obviously if I was allowed to, I would just pick suing the pants off the show, but trying to stick to people who are actively in the game. I think Harold is a good choice. I think Heather's good. I'm actually really like surprised that you all put Izzy, because I feel like out of all the episodes, the funniest thing in the entire thing is whenever they're like speaking in tongues and she's like, blah, 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 blah. Like that's the time I actively truly laughed out loud. But I think I'm gonna give it to Harold. I just like Harold's character, obviously, and I think that he has like one really strong episode, and I also think he's pretty strong in the medical drama episode. For least favorite, this is Beth. Beth's storyline with the Brady thing, I find absolutely like just a disrespect to the audience. Like,
Yeah.
I just can't forgive it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, to me that one is like a bad overarching, but it's not so like crazy bad right away. It's kind of like, okay, like what's going on with this? And then like the fact that that's the payoff, that's the reason why it's bad, is that it like that's just her story for why she gets the end and wins.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk more about that as we get into week 3 next week of Total Drama Action. We will talk about Courtney coming back. So Devin's going to be really happy to see Courtney again in the game.
Courtney's going to be his favorite player every time.
Courtney forever.
It's gonna be fun to talk about, just to see kind of my opinions as well on Courtney in this season, because I don't remember as much about Action compared to Islander World Tour. So I'll be interested to see my thoughts on it on this rewatch here. And then whatever else happens, I believe we also start the merge next week as well. So
Near the end, I think.
Yeah.
We get the merger, and then we get.
If it does, it's like it's either the last episode of it or right after. It might be right after.
Yeah, it might be. We'll see.
Courtney return, and then elimination of another player who's pretty important to the season, merge, and then the first merge boot, and then
All right, cool. Yep. We'll talk about all that starting next week. So subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. We'd love to get your feedback on Total Drama as we continue through the series. With that, we will see you all next time for more Total Drama Action on the Tribe of Nerds.
I'm gonna sue the pants off this show.